Halalim la Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Racha HaKwadash. Double honors unto the apostles of GMS who rule well, and salutations and blessings to the elect. Alright, you Akyam and Aquathium that take heed. This lesson is titled The Wild Man, something along those lines. I'm not sure I'm going to exactly name it, but I was looking up something that I went into a few months ago, and I got some more information, and it's just a good topic to get into as well in the history of these Edomites. So as you see, another word for these Edomites is a troglodyte, meaning a cave dweller. 1550s from French, directly from Latin, and from Greek, a cave dweller or caveman. When you go down here, it says literally one who creeps into holes. From trogle, meaning hole, a mouse hole, to gnaw, nibble, munch. So these devils, man, their history, when you go into Job 30:1, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. This is Job going into these Edomites, right? Because they have been cave dwellers from the beginning, right? In Mount Seir, which was later named Petra, which is Greek for rock, okay? And then to the Caucasus Mountains, right, of Georgia, Russia. It says, verse 2, yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished, for want and famine they were solitary, right? Fleeing into the wilderness, in former time, desolate and waste, right? And that's funny, because Esau is the waste man. Ishashwa, wasted away is he, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat, which are nutritious herbs, antiviral, bacterial. So Most High had to sustain them, man. He didn't want them dying out during that time period. Septimius Severus, and then a few centuries later with Constantine in the Council of Nicaea, 325, 330 AD. Okay, these devils were in the holes, man, in the clefts. It says, verse 5, they were driven forth from among men. And like I said, during the time of Septimius, and a little before, because you already had Israelite emperors such as Commodus, Marcus Aurelius, and Nerva, right? Those are all Israelites. Those are Jakes. Septimius Severus, he wasn't really fighting Edomites. I think there was only one Edomite general, but the rest, it was Pesinius Niger and two other ones he was fighting, right? So that was that time period for the brothers, to get into that history. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the clefts of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. See? Troglodytes. Among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together, right? And when you look up that word bray, like a horse brays, the word is nachak, which means to bray, cry out, right? To bray as an ass scream from hunger. All right. Verse 8, yea, or they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. So I'm going to go through a few images that I have, and just speak about things in the spirit, as you see the word there. So this is when you look up wild man, or the legend of the wild men, and a lot of it is from Germany, right? It's German folklore, or what they call it actually is satire. Now it's interesting to know, before I'm going to get into the images, I'm going to get that word satire. No, it's the other word, satire. It says 1500s, a literary work. And that's interesting, 1500. That's a very specific word they use to describe the legend of the wild man, because they call it just that, a legend, something that's a bad, a bad, like a scary story at night, intended to ridicule prevailing vice or folly by scornful or contemptuous expression. What do you think that means? What was their vice or folly? They were viler than the earth. We just read it, Job 30. They were children of fools. So you're gonna mock it in a story type. See? Poetic medley. Alright? So you know, this is this dude is hairy, man. And red. That's Esau right there. Okay? That is Esau. This is the legend of the wild men, or you can type in the wild men of I believe it's called Wartburg. Right? The legend, the wild men of Wartburg. You know, this is all Esau's history, man. See, the wild man. This was during the times we just read. During the time of Septimius, a little after, right? And Job 30 described it. You know, you see here, because during the time, man, look, they were nasty, they were hairy, they were dirty. Okay, they had a bunch of sicknesses and diseases. But this image here is interesting because it looks like them hounds that the Spaniards had, the conquistadors, and this was not too that was not too long after these devils were coming out. And you're gonna start seeing the wild men. They have their own. You see, they got the moon there, but they have their own coat of arms and shields, and they're very base. And then they had to steal the Moors and the Israelites. And the other Israelites who didn't call themselves Moors, their royalty and their nobility, and they have to call themselves the new nobility. See, but this just reminds me of the damn devil, man. All right, this is Esau portrayed as a hairy wild man alongside an ape. For comparison, Johann Schuser, 1731. They know, because the scriptures say Esau was a hairy man, and Jacob is a smooth man. Okay, this is more. Hey, remember, these devils, man, at one time, they were on all fours. Okay, they weren't even walking upright. All right? They weren't even walking upright, man. And to prove that the Most High can do that, all you got to do is go into the account in Daniel. All right, Daniel 4. Hold on. No, this isn't it. Salaki, 1 second. Yeah, sorry, 4. My bad. Daniel 4. And 31. While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, for to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field. They shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee, until thou know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. The Most High is king, man. The Most High is the top. All right, he's the architect, and he's much more than that. All right. Verse 33, the same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, till his hairs were grown like eagles' feathers, and his nails like birds' claws. Jeez. And at the end of the days, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up mine eyes into heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me. Most I can just bug you out, man. Oh, how did the Edomites, how did these people in the nice suits and ties in the top 500 companies, Fortune 500, and you know, these top corporations, listen, these are base people, man. And they're actually still showing themselves to be, if you have an eye to see. They just have, hey, like the brother was saying, you know, they shaved off all their hair, and now they got laser removal. All right, so they look spiffy, man. They don't look like anything we're describing, because guess what? He's a devil. He's a deceiver. All right, and he has the power for these miracles, man, to change himself up. It says, "And mine understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that liveth forever, whose dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation." All right, and that was pretty much the point on that. So, so it's not far-fetched, man, if you understand and you have eyes to see and ears to hear. Here's a tapestry of the Moors. All right, I'm going to zoom in first. The castle, civilization. As you see, these are dark-skinned people, Moors, the king and the queen. The archers, right, fighting who? These wild men from the forest, from the wilderness. Okay, a lot of us fought them. A lot of us already hired them as servants and started training them, and started intermingling with them and marrying them. And that was our downfall. All right, this is just a different color. It's just actually more clear. As you see at the top, these are all Israelites, man. Okay? As you see, what I was just saying. A lot of us started intermarrying, man. All right, that's not good. And that's what happened. But guess what? It's all prophecy. I'm not trying to hold on to the damn dark ages, man. So-called medieval dark ages. We're at the end, man. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning. This is Templar. I'm just going into now the history, a little bit of how we ruled. Portrait of a wealthy black man, either Flemish or German, circa 1540, in a private collection, Antwerp. See, these are the Moors, man. All right, you got the beard. You got the jewelry, royalty, man. Okay, this was just an image of King David I had. Going into icons, just a little bit, scattered a little bit everywhere. History, thought I'd get into history. Since the channel's History Icon, I had to get back into the history as well. These are Moors, again, fighting Edomites, and then you're going to start seeing Edomites. They don't look like wild men after they start understanding, oh shit, no, we got to dress, we got to bathe, we got to be hygienic, which they still didn't even do that. See, right? Kings and Israelites trying to take back castles, and they found out, oh, this guy, he took this castle and he took that now, and this is the Wildman region now, but guess what? This was our downfall, right? This was the time that we were meant to fall. Right? These are coat of arms, families, crests. See, Israelites being killed. So this was all the history, man. This is all history. These are coat of arms. This isn't stuff you just make up on your computer in in the app called Paint, in the program Paint. You don't make this shit on Paint. This is real history, man. But not so known history. All right. So the wild men. That was it. Let me get the word wild man when you look it up. A primitive man who dwells outside of civilized society, a savage person without culture, a rowdy, dissolute, rash, or violent man. Who's the violent man on this earth? Esau. Revelation 6 mentions a red horse. His job was to take peace from the earth. Right? A man who advocates unorthodox or outrageous opinions, or who behaves in an eccentric manner. The dude from American Psycho, man. But that's Esau, man. And there's other words we call them. As you see, hold on, where was that word? There's wood woes. Right, that's it right here. Basically denoting of the woods. But then you have this word, a fawn, which is very interesting when you look up fawn. A woodland creature with pointed ears, legs, and short horns of a goat. Who's the goat, man? Who's got everybody obsessed with the goat in this society? better yet. All right, you Jakes think you're all this goat talk came out of who, Jake, or came out of nowhere? That's Esau. That's his programming. All right, this is from Danarin.com, Wild Men and Heraldry, as you see, and it's going to explain the heraldry. It says here the wild man, frequently depicted holding a shield to indicate his combative nature, which may have led to his portrayal in the heraldic tradition to symbolize the protector of the family coat of arms. The wild man featured in more than 200 coat of arms across Europe. How is a wild man gonna understand heraldry and coat of arms? Because a lot of us, like I said, we trained him up and we taught him, and then he killed us, man. Ain't no fucking wild man gonna understand. All right, a man that doesn't bathe and doesn't know how to shave and can't groom himself, doesn't even have a language. All right, gonna understand about nobility, most of which were in the German lands. They were particularly popular during the second half of the 15th century. The wild man's new role was brought about by the rise in Germanic nationalism, which inspired the new translation of Cornelius Tacitus's Germania, describing wild people as the first proud inhabitants of the Germanic lands. What the hell are these people talking about? But that shows you. Why would they be proud of that? Why would nobility be proud of that? Do you think the nobility in Germany at that time was proud of wild men? No, they were fighting them. I just showed you the images. They were fighting them. These were different people. Germanic means genuine or authentic. All right? Them Germanians were Israelites. Same with the Franks or the French or the English, the Anglo-Saxons. Right? The original. The wild man became a cultural emblem of Germany. Why? Because these are children of fools, base people, associated with the romanticized version of ancient German tribes living simple and virtuous. And the wild men were living simple, in a sense of in a village. They were in the wild, man. They were bugged out. Okay, these weren't hunter-gatherers even. They were just bugged out, man. You know? I want to go to the point. Here it says, one shield created by Schongur depicts a wild man holding onto two heraldic shields with an image of a hare on one and the other with a Moor's head with a turtle tied around his head. With a Moor. So that shows you. And the Edomite, you think he looks dark because that's all the dirt and the hair on him. And the dirt trapped in the fucking hair. All the knots. So the Moor is the Israelite. So he's holding that like, look, basically he conquered. And this is the heraldry or the so-called coat of arms crest of the wild man. Anyway, with that, I hope you're edified. Kal halalim la Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushai b'Hashem Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who I learned the truth from and who rule well, and blessings, salutations unto you elect, Akiam and Akwathiam, that do listen. May Yahweh b'Hashem Yahushai b'Hashem Racha HaKodash increase your faith and protect you in these times. Shalom.